From the News Talk STL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. On tonight's episode, America's Shaman, Jake Angeli-Chansley, retired police sergeant Gary Weigert, animal lover Karen Druley, and the Right Mind studio band Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Showalter.
Like you just said, my friend, it's a great day for radio. Isn't it a great day for radio?
If we need to ask Coach Tom Swoboda for permission to use that catchphrase from the Battlehawks, we will, because he can't come on the show unless he gets permission.
He's boycotting us.
And all his intellectual property is also owned by a UFL, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Peas and Bottles, Battlehawks.
Right. No, he's been
LLC.
banned. Apparently, he got in a lot of trouble for being on the Right Mind show. And
That'll
now
happen.
Well, of course. And we warned that. I had him sign the waiver, and apparently that didn't count. That did not suffice because he's now gone. Hey, are you a big planner? Do you plan stuff? I know people that are planners. See, I'm more of like a spontaneous guy because I believe if you plan all the time, you can't live in the moment. Do you know what I mean?
I leave room for living in the moment in between the plans.
Okay.
It's always nice to have something to look forward to.
Right.
Like when you plan a nooner with your wife and then she rejects you. At least you had that plan to look forward to.
Oh, you do it at noon?
Oh, you nooners, yeah, roundabout.
Okay. Nope, that's never happened
Or
before.
you go on a cruise and you've got some stuff where you leave the boat and you get robbed and you come back on the boat and you're like, I had so much fun.
So you do nooners while you're being robbed on a boat?
Only if it's in a Costa Maya.
Oh, okay.
That's a good place for a nooner. Because the siesta situation they have in Mexico.
The siesta, yeah. Doesn't that mean nap in German?
Yeah, isn't that what a nooner is? You take a nap?
A nooner. The last time I asked for a nooner, nothing happened.
Well, there must be a nap by yourself then. That's what I thought it was.
Late. Well, yeah. Speaking
what
of
are the plans? Best laid plans.
Best laid plan. Oh, I get what that kind of goes with nooner, doesn't it? Hey, you know what was really kind of funny though? Speaking of planning, I was at that shindig in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
like over the weekend or a few days,
hanging out with Scranton Joe or Sleepy Joe. I don't know.
What do you mean? This is my state. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. Thank goodness that he wasn't there.
Punxsutawney Phil. Yep.
I don't think if he was there, he would have even known that he was there. But that's not really the point. But I was really touched by, and I touched, and I don't mean touched. I was like touched in the heart because I was running around because my wife, who is a planner, needed to get everything together so we could get out the door for this wedding. When what happened, my friend? You sent me a text. You sent me a text right there in Pittsburgh that said, "Hey, by the way, it's Erica, the lovely Erica's birthday, by the way, and I don't know what to do."
And it's a big one.
It was the 40th, wasn't it? And you obviously had not planned a thing, which I love because you're living in the moment, but you didn't know what to do. And what did you do? You reached out to moi.
Reach out and touch somebody. Remember the Collect Call commercial theme song?
Collect Calls. Do they still have those? I think if you're in prison, they still have those, don't they? But they don't have those in general, do they?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, anyway. But you asked me, and I was touched. I said, we cannot run to this wedding because I have to help my best friend in the whole world. And she says, I thought I was your best friend. I said, we're not going to argue about that right now. And so what did I do? I stopped everything I was doing and gave you some great plans. Did I tell you about the water balloons? Was that part of it?
Wet T-shirt contest, yeah.
Yeah, that was part of it. Did she enjoy it?
Let me tell you, I can't believe I pulled this out of my butt. This worked so well. I
Oh.
had no plans for her birthday, so I started thinking I need to ask some people for plans. And then I realized I'll just text 40 different people for her 40th birthday. And then as the responses start coming in, I'll read her the answers throughout the day. So you weren't the guy. You were one of many, many guys.
Whoa. Wait a minute. So you reached out to 500 million people? I thought I actually missed the rehearsal for this wedding because I told everybody I had to help my best buddy figure out what to do for his girlfriend's 40th birthday.
Mm-hmm. You said in your text, I'm not a wine guy, but get her drunk at a winery.
Yes.
So one of you is still, not drunk.
Exactly. And have a nooner.
And then you said, Stan the little man, our midget friend, is going to come by at some point if you can find him and wish her a happy birthday.
Yes.
And then you sent one of your hate letters from one of your biggest fans who called you a Hitler type of guy, a Hitler lover. And I let her read that entire letter, and she loved that.
Did she like it? Because I thought, because a lot of people, they really, it's better than like a mushy greeting card. The next time, for Mother's Day, Father's Day, anniversary, anybody out there that wants to go get a Hallmark card, don't spend the money. Ask me to share one of my hate letters, and I guarantee you they're more entertaining and funny than any Hallmark card.
I like it when Facebook says someone's a top fan because they'll put a little moniker or a little, icon next to them.
Yeah.
And then the top fan, this one right here, Peter T.
Peter T.
He literally says, "You have a damaged brain from being dropped on your head as a toddler, you effing brainwashed sheep."
No.
You chose Hitler over Mother Teresa. And oh, man, my lovely Erica loved reading that.
Did she love that
she
part?
Got such a giggle.
I tell you what, they are, and they're right from the heart from these people. I mean, they get so upset, and a lot of times it was a double text. Did you notice that? I couldn't share it all in one screen because what was his name? Peter.
Peter is a prolific writer who has worked for Rodney Dangerfield. He needed 2 screenshots to get all of his information across.
Oh, he went on and on. He wrote a dissertation, and I almost said, "Congratulations, Peter! You're a doctor. You're a PhD, and being a moron now."
You are now a top fan of Todd Showalter Productions.
My goodness, that's the point. Now, I'm glad that she found some humor in that because I certainly do. I mean, I get these every single day, my friend. I mean, throughout the day. I mean, I get these things, just hate and love that they love to hate. So I shared it with you, and I'm glad, so glad it was a wonderful birthday.
Your message was a lot more useful than my Uncle Brian. He said I should trade her in and get 2 20-year-olds.
Oh, really? How did that go over?
I read that to Erica, and she didn't find that too funny.
No?
My Uncle Greg, now this is a great guy. I love him.
Yeah?
He said that I should get her a limo ride, take her to a comedy club, take her on a horse carriage ride, and then a Broadway show. And that reminded me, as soon as we go back to Fairmount Park, that's basically all of those in one.
It is.
Like, we're going to see some horses. You and I are going to make some jokes. There's going to be a Broadway show when they shoot the horse in the back and turn it into glue. It's such a tragedy. You ever hear of Equus? Equus is a Broadway show where I think Daniel Radcliffe gets naked with a horse.
Oh, yeah. Anything. He was the Harry Potter guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then there's Warhorse with the horse puppet. I mean, this is all full-on perfect birthday present. As soon as they get that restaurant all up and running.
Oh, don't even worry about it.
At Fairmount, we're going back.
Hot dogs for $1. I think they have hot dogs for $1, and they have strippers at Moonlight there as the concession stand workers. I can't wait to go.
I saw some people complaining about Fairmount that they have turned the hot dogs into the same size as the ketchup packet.
Really?
So they used to have foot-long hot dogs, I guess, for $1.
Yeah.
Now they're about 3 inches long.
Oh, okay.
So you only need 1 ketchup packet to fill the whole thing up.
So you only get a 3-incher.
Yeah, you only get a 3-incher nowadays for the $1. But you know what? They're making improvements. They're putting $100 million in that thing, turning it into a hotel. The horses have gold-plated grills or something. It's worth it.
Oh, wow. That does sound nice. I don't really care about a 3-inch hot dog, though. That reminds me of the Nooner. Moving right along.
Happy birthday, Erica. That's what this is all about.
Erica. Yeah, Pittsburgh. That was an interesting town. It's a lot like St. Louis. I mean, but here's the thing.
It smells more like metal, like it's Steel Town, they call it.
And the bums get up early. Okay, because in St. Louis, there's nobody in the morning. I mean, you look around, hey, where is everybody? No, they're all out in Pittsburgh, okay? And I made a lot of new friends. And, so, I mean, that if you want to go to Pittsburgh and meet a lot of bums, I mean, make sure you go early in the morning because they're up.
I imagine them having them bindle sticks where they got a lot of snacks just ready for the day. Like, you could throw them a little granola or something. They put it right in their bindle bundle.
Oh, absolutely.
And just start panhandling bright and early, 5 a.m., before the cars even come out. They just practice their speech. Hey! I'm a veteran. Like, you're like 16, buddy.
You know what I always do when somebody says they're a veteran? I say drop and give me 20. Because if you don't know what that means, and if you don't do it, you weren't really a veteran. And I don't care how old they are. I see like people at the Home Depot, and they always have their veteran's hat up, and he's like, I'm a veteran. And they also have special parking for people at Home Depot if you are a veteran. So whenever I see somebody pull in there, the first thing I say is, drop and give me 20. And one guy thought I might drop his pants. Okay, and that's not something you want to see an old veteran do, but we did let him park there.
I mean, the VA isn't good at doing prostate checks, so I try and give back. I help these guys out.
Yeah.
If it's lumpy, I let them know.
Lumpy. I got to do my
Joe Biden just got a lump on his prostate.
Well, he's got a lump in his head. I don't think I think his prostate is his head, is it? Yeah. Here's the thing. They have the news. Here's what I really find kind of funny. You've got like people like at CNN and like the leftist news channels and stuff. They're finally coming out and they're saying, well, we got to admit, we want to let you in on a little secret. We all knew that he was a demented moron. We just
Jake Tapper's writing an entire book that comes out May 20th about this.
But here's the thing. We knew all along. I mean, it's not like you're telling us a bombshell. Oh, my God, I never knew that. No, we knew the entire time that he was a blithering idiot, and then they're acting like they're letting us in on a little secret. It's not a secret. Who was that a secret to?
The big secret is that he was supposed to be in a wheelchair the whole time because he's got a crooked spine like Forrest Gump. Crooked as a question mark. But if he was in the wheelchair, he wouldn't have been wandering off all the time.
Yeah.
So they were embarrassed. Oh, we can't have a president in a wheelchair. That's never been happened, except for FDR, who had 3 terms.
Right? What?
I think he served 3 times.
Right, yeah.
Some of our greatest presidents were in wheelchairs.
Well, Donald Trump's going to serve 3 times. He's doing really well. I mean, he's got like world peace over in the Middle East. He's bringing back billions of dollars and stuff. He's lowering pharmaceutical prices. I think he ran a 100-yard dash in under 4 seconds.
Do you think that'll affect St. Louis? $200 billion to Boeing? I mean, there's a Boeing here in St. Louis, you know?
Boeing is true, isn't it? Yeah, because apparently they, who's it?
Maybe they'll put doors on the planes this time.
Oh, maybe they'll have a better, display for Christmas at the Botanical Garden.
Yes.
Because, I mean, that $20 little rinky-dink thing that they had, boy, I was let down. I just can't let that one go. Maybe they can actually get a few more Christmas lights this year.
If the Qatari money, it may be, I don't know, covered in a little blood or something, but if it makes the Christmas lights better at the Botanical Gardens, it's worth it.
You got to give stuff to your art. I mean, people think art just comes easily. Like, it's like, oh, he's natural. No, art takes a lot of work, okay? And sometimes a little bloodshed is okay because that shows that you put your heart into it, especially if the blood's from your heart.
My girl, who I previously mentioned, excellent birthday gift receiver, she only wants blood diamonds.
Blood diamonds?
She says if it's conflict-free, it's not for me.
Oh, did she write that?
She wrote that.
That's like a Hallmark card. It's kind of like the letter that I gave you from my friend Peter.
Every kiss begins with K, and K also is how you spell knife. And that's why we like our conflict.
Wow.
Full diamonds.
Wow.
Thank you.
I didn't think of that.
Treat the ladies the way they deserve to be treated.
Well, at least, even if you don't get her a diamond, I've got a heck of a lot of these letters I can share with you, okay, my friend? Hey, you know what we got coming on? We've got the guy from January 6th, the
Buffalo Head guy.
I call him the Buffalo Man, but it's like American Shaman. I mean, and my friend Eric, he set the whole thing up. I thought he was goofing with me, but no, apparently he wants to be on the Right Mind show.
He's a very secretive guy. He won't give us a number. We're supposed to meet him on a corner with a microphone.
It is. He says I have to call you, okay? So I don't know what that. Maybe he'll call. Maybe he
burner
won't.
phone. I don't know.
You know what? I tell you what. If he doesn't call, I'll just pretend like I'm him. What do you say? Because he wears makeup, I wear bronzer. Same thing, right? Huh?
You sound a little horny right now with the little buffalo head that you got going.
Oh, I tell you what. I'm ready for a nooner. But we got a big show. It's going to be fun. Mitch is back in full form today. He's got a huge outfit on. He looks like Elton John back in the flamboyant days, don't you think?
Oh yeah, Liberace.
That's who he is. Liberace John. Look at you. Don't show me that. Anyway, it's going to be a great time when we come back. In the meantime, I'm Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Tickling my ivories over here. Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, we talk January 6th with the America Shaman, Jake Angeli-Chansley. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And if you've hated everything you've heard so far, just keep listening until the end. Todd loses his voice.
All right, back. I'm Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now is, well, I tell you what, I don't know where to start. Do we call you the American Shaman? You're Jake Angeli-Chansley. Everybody knows you. I mean, they've seen you on television. They've said they know the whole story. It's great to have you here. I don't know where to jump in, but tell us what you've been up to.
Well, that's the funny thing. They don't know the whole story. They don't even know the half of it. All they know is what they've been told on social media and on television, and pretty much most of that's a lie.
Okay.
So they don't know the whole story.
Okay. Well,
and what have I been up to? I've just been saving the world, bro.
Yeah, well, I know.
What's you been up to?
Well, I tell you what. I mean, we appreciate you out there saving the world, and you're into a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm following. I mean, would you consider yourself a spiritual warrior? I mean, because you're doing things. I know that you're out there pretty much. I don't want to say just blanketly fighting evil, but you're really going against a lot of people that are like perverts and corrupt and stuff like that. I mean, how does that fit into the whole scenario of what we know? I mean, what we've seen on television and things like that. I mean, is that what you're? I mean, do you see evil like pretty much taking over our government? Is that what this is all about?
No. What you have to understand is that evil hides behind masks.
Okay.
And that is because if you saw the true face of evil, you would not let it in the door, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So, let's say human beings are fallible and corruptible. Is that true, yes or no?
Yes, it's totally true.
Okay, so if human beings are fallible and corruptible, then human institutions, which are filled with human beings, are therefore subject to being fallible and corruptible. And the more humans there are, then the more subject to corruption that institution becomes. Does that make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense. Sure.
Okay, so the largest institution in the entire world right now, if I'm not mistaken, is the United States federal government.
Okay, right.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, when you look at things like, say, certain corporations or certain international entities or certain banking cartels, we're talking about a very, very small group of people, yes. But we're also talking about very large amounts of influence within this corrupted system.
Right. Okay.
You see?
I do. Are you referring to like outside influences, meaning that they're actually corrupting the people within our government? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and it's not so much about corrupting the whole government. It's about corrupting key portions within the government that are the checks and balances against the centralization of power. Okay?
Yes.
What the founding fathers were dealing with was tyranny, and they defined tyranny as the consolidation of all three branches of government into a centralized power. Now, if you remove the checks and balances of our system through corruption, then you can centralize power while creating the illusion of checks and balances and quote-unquote democracy.
Okay, I follow you. And, I would even throw even though it's not part of the three checks and balances, I would throw the media in there, too. I mean, you have the media that, I thought usually, or in the past, has been part of our checks and balances, and I think they're part of that. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the funny thing is that I think it was Thomas Jefferson said that he would rather have a nation with a free media and no government than a government with no media.
Right. Well,
and it's because the media is basically the communication network between individuals in the community. It's the common ground or the town square that everybody meets on and agrees on certain things. So if you can influence what's in the media and you can influence people's perception of reality through that medium, then you can do all sorts of evil hiding behind a mask of doing good.
No, I totally agree. In fact, I think there are some people, I've said it even on a state level here in Missouri, but I think obviously on a federal level, that you have some people, it's almost like, the wolf in the sheep's clothes. They go in there saying one thing when they have no intention of being good. They go in there with that intent, and when once they're in, it's too late. So what do you do?
That's right. And so what you do is the right thing, no matter what, and no matter who's watching, no matter if anybody's watching.
Yeah.
Because God's always watching.
I agree. And I've said forever that I'm a very spiritual person. I put trust in God that I think, things will work out. But you still have to, God will give you a shovel, but you still need to dig the hole. Do you see right now, do you see enough people? I think we went through this whole period where people were so afraid to stand up. Like, I don't want to upset somebody. I don't want to offend my neighbor or my worker or my coworker. Do you think people are finally waking up and finally starting to say, hey, we're not going to take any more of this, and we're going to put an end to it?
Yes, that is correct. One of my favorite quotes is, The people you're after are the people you depend on.
Right.
We cook your meals. We haul your trash. We connect your calls. We drive your ambulances.
Mm-hmm.
We guard you while you sleep. Do not mess with us.
Right.
You know, these globalists, these less than 1%ers, as I like to call them, coming back to the original point about evil and government and all that, these globalists, these less than 1%ers, are literally less than 1% of the population.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
They are coming after us, trying to destroy us, going after our kids, and they think that we won't stand up and say game over. And that is what I am advocating for, and that is what is currently taking place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's nonviolent. That's the best part, is that it is soul force. It is basically a separation of value systems. And you say, look, we are not the same. You want this. I want something completely different. You and I are not the same. We are not going the same route. You need to go away.
Right. If I could, I'd like to ask you, I don't know how far you can get into it, but going back to that day, what led you? What was your motivation? What was it that led you to the Capitol in January 6th? If you can talk about, I mean, you don't have to go into specifics, but what was the catalyst? What pushed you to actually need to be there?
God parted the Red Sea for me twice.
Okay.
I went to D.C. on December 12th for the second Mega Million March. I didn't have any money, dude. I didn't have any weight. I'll put it this way. I have a car. I didn't really have enough money to rent one.
Right.
I didn't have a hotel. I didn't have any way of getting there for the December 12th rally. And all of those things took care of themselves. Okay? And then the second time for January 6th, it was the exact same thing. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the transportation. They didn't have the lodging. And all those things took care of themselves. And I am going to cross that bridge. You best believe that.
Okay. Well, and you were led there. I mean, you felt that you were. I mean, and that's.
Dude, there's a story that goes into all that. I think I even said it on my space the other day about like the arrow and stuff, and these women that came and showed me like this arrow. They gave me this arrow that had a blessing. They said they were going to take me all the way to D.C. They said it had medicine in it. I didn't believe them, but I kept the arrow with me, and lo and behold, I got to D.C. twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you feel, because you obviously have become you're iconic, okay? I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, I mean, you are. I mean, you're kind of the symbol. I mean, do you think, was that something that you saw happening? Is that something you're obviously taking that to the next stage? You're talking about the things that you're talking about, but did you see all that transpiring?
Kind of, yeah. It was like in a vision of the future as a glimpse, though. That's the thing, dude, is that like God just shows you enough to get you to move to where you need to be. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes if you see too much, you won't move.
Right. No.
Right? So it's almost like if you smell good food and you go, man, that smells good, but you only got a whiff of it, you're like, I want some more of that. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Sure. Again, I don't want to get into too many specifics, just because I don't know if we should or whether you're good with it. But some things just didn't pass the smell test. It seemed like it's a lot of things that were going down. I mean, I guess where I'm going with this, did you ever feel like a victim at any point?
I refuse to be a victim.
Yeah.
Listen, man, life is. What is it? 10% what happens to you, and 90% what you think about it or how you react to it.
Right. So you're proactive, and so yeah, I get that. Okay. Well, it's an amazing story. I mean, and again, you've used that as a launching point to do the things that you're doing now. What is moving forward? I know I follow you on Twitter, and I read your stuff, and I listen to your podcast and things like that. What is your goal? Like, where do you want to be 5 years from now? What do you want? I mean, do you have a long-term plan, or you just take things day by day?
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
Well, I don't know. That's what we were talking about. I mean, we were actually earlier in the show, we were talking about plans of who lives organically. If you're always planning, you're not living in the moment. And that's ironically what we were talking about. And it was just like, so sometimes you just got to go with the feeling. You got to go with where God leads you. And I'm assuming that's what you're doing.
Look at it like this, man. Mm-hmm. It's God's plan.
Right.
Not mine. It's God.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to see more and more and more of it as time has gone on. And God has shown me, as long as I'm in the right place where God tells me to be at the right time, then this plan of God not mine. It worked out just fine.
No.
And guess what? I might have to go through some crap. I might have to suffer a little bit, but that's fine. As long as everybody else is safe. As long as everybody else is good. As long as our future generations have clean air, clean food, clean water, and a safe place to raise their children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and that's wonderful. That's what, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, it's a shame that we have people that are opposed to that and try to stop that, and that we even have to go through it. I mean, but I applaud you for being out there actually, as I've said before, fighting the good fight. And I like what again, there's a lot of stuff. I have a lot of questions. I'd love to talk to you further because we're about out of time for this segment. But I'd love to talk to you more. But yeah, again, you got any last things that you would like to add before we break away?
Yes, just one final thing.
Sure.
It's not who I am underneath that matters, but what I do that matters.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
That's from Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that matters.
Actions.
Right?
Actions.
Yeah, man. And people can think whatever they want, bro, because I'm not a hero. I'm whatever the country needs me to be, bro. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't matter what that is, and that's going to change sometimes. And as long as I'm able to adapt to that change and the country's going to be better off for it, that's okay. Because guess what? I can take it.
Yeah. Well, you're as you said. I mean, God is using you to fulfill a purpose, and that's not always an easy road. I mean, if you look through history and the Bible and everything else, if you're a Christian, I mean that's a lot of people have been persecuted for that, and but you do what you have to do, and so yeah. Well, I'd love to talk more, my friend. I hope you can come back another time, but I've really enjoyed this, and I really want to thank you for joining us.
I hope so as well, and God bless.
God bless, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
In the meantime, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show, and we will be back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, retired police sergeant Gary Weigert on state control of the St. Louis City Police. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who's never been to jail, but a lot of people say he does have a resting bitch face, Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. Mitch in the background, still looking like Elton John and Liberace all into one. But that doesn't matter because on the line right now is Mr. Cop, Mr. Police Officer himself, Mr. Law Enforcement, Gary Weigert. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Todd.
Okay, well, I knew you were. That's why I wanted to talk to you. Hey, I'm going to cut right to the chase here. We got this big thing about the state. The state is taking over the city police department. You are a longtime police officer of 35 years, I believe. You're on certain board. What board were you on? What board were you on? It was like the.
I was on the St. Louis City Police Department 35 years, and we were under state control then.
You were under control, but you were also okay. I mean, where I'm getting at, you've got a lot of experience. I mean, not just as a police officer, but you've been involved in the pensions and things like that too.
Yeah, I was on the pension board for a couple of years, and
okay, so you've done it all.
Committeeman in St. Louis City, committeeman in St. Louis County.
So how does this everything that you've been involved in? I mean, how are things affected? And you said, which I didn't realize when you were a police officer, that the state did control it. How does that change things?
So what it is the governor just picks 4 citizens, and the citizens of St. Louis control the board. It's a citizen-controlled board. Everyone thinks the state controls it, but they're actually 4 citizens.
Okay.
And so they pretty much run everything, the day-to-day, hiring, firing, spending the money. So right now there is a fight. The city wants to be paid back for these buildings that they have to turn over to this police board.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, these buildings were turned over to the city from the state in the first place, from the citizens turned them over about 13 years ago.
No,
so now they want to be compensated.
What? Explain that a little bit further. So there are buildings in the city of St. Louis that who has them now?
So now they were turned over from the citizen board that were appointed by the state.
Okay.
And that citizen board turned them over to the city about 13 years ago. They also turned over what's called the Clee Garage. That's where we would take our cars to get fixed.
Right. Okay.
And there's different properties that the police board owned. Well, now the city wants to be compensated for these properties.
Really?
They want to be paid, yeah. And they also want to be paid like the mechanics. So all those workers who worked for the citizens, the 4 citizens, were turned over to the city.
Okay.
And
all right.
So now they want to be compensated to turn these people back over to work for the police department. It's so they took these buildings for free, but now they want money back when they turn it back over to the state. It's pretty convoluted.
Yeah.
I think it'll be unsuccessful.
Okay. What's the point of this? They just want to get, is it a cash grab?
Yeah, I think they want the money.
Okay.
The city does have problems with money. Now, there's certain things. Now, most people don't understand this, but there's a thing called the Hancock Amendment.
Right.
And that says the state cannot vote to make the city pay to the police department.
Okay.
Now, there's other things that the city has to pay to the police department, so like the pension.
Right.
Because years ago, Mayor Slay didn't want to pay into the pension anymore, so we sued him. Actually, the pension board sued him, and by court order, the city has to contribute what the I guess that's the actuary. What the actuary decides what their contribution will be.
Okay. All right.
Also, my medical care. So we have medical care that when we retire, state law says that the city police or the city will pay for our medical. Okay. And so Mayor Slay said he didn't want to pay for that either. So actually, I was involved in that lawsuit. I was the head of the police association at the time.
Right.
We sued Mayor Slay, and we won that in the Missouri Supreme Court. So when it comes to our pension and our health care, that doesn't go through the Hancock.
Okay.
Now, if you want a pay raise, that has to go through the Hancock Amendment.
Okay.
And that's pretty complicated.
Yeah, it sounds. I'm trying to keep this all straight myself. Just what you're talking about. So now you said so. When you were actually a police officer, it was run by the state. I mean, it was under state control, and now it is now also. I mean, is this? Again, things kind of went to hell in a handbasket when over the last few years. Are we going to be safer now?
I sure hope so. What the city will try to do, we've had this defund the police thing going on for a long time.
That's ridiculous.
And I don't know if they can recover. I mean, so when I came on, we had 2,200, 2,150 police officers. Now they got 850.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so it's kind of tough, and I don't know if they can get them through the academy quick enough.
Yeah, well, that's just it. What do you do? I mean, obviously people left, and I don't blame them just based on all the things that were going on. You'd arrest somebody, you'd be sued for it. I mean, criminals running around the street. But now, I mean, with the state, there's some confusion because I've talked to people that thought, it's like, we got the National Guard coming in. It's not that. It's just from a management standpoint, the state is involved to make things run more efficiently, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, go ahead.
So there were certain things. So the city took over right before I retired.
Okay.
So I dealt with the city taking over, and I saw how quickly things went south.
Right.
And so, like when we'd have a police car, your police car would have some kind of problems. You'd take it in to get it fixed. Well, before when the police department ran the Lickley Garage, we had priority. Well, now you got city cars in there, you got ambulances, you got, I think, the fire department that would work on some stuff with the fire department. So our cars, we didn't go to the front of the line anymore. We weren't the priority. And to me, it was very obvious. So I saw things in education, too, where we had loop funds where, I was able to go get my master's degree, and that was paid for. But that now has all been cut out. And so I know there's some legislation in Jefferson City to try to bring that back too.
And will that happen with the state? I mean, do you think more things like that will be put back into place, and as a result, then be good with recruiting?
Yeah, and I think they have to try. So it isn't just the St. Louis Police Department that's having troubles. I mean, all the police departments in the area are having troubles with recruiting. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, we had Kim Gardner and Tashara Jones and those type of people, and the police pretty much felt abandoned.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
they
with them
were
gone,
they were abandoned.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the crazy things about the jail and to tear down the workhouse, that was terrible.
What's that all about? I don't understand it. Here's the thing, because I keep seeing about that, and then they were going to turn it into like a dog park or some crazy stuff. I mean, what is the big issue with that? Now they are tearing it down, but what was the whole story with that?
Well, so the workhouse at the end, my understanding was the workhouse actually made money.
Okay.
Because the federal government would house a lot of their prisoners into the workhouse.
All right.
And so they would actually pay an exorbitant fee to house their prisoners. And we also would put our prisoners in there too, awaiting trial.
Right.
And what happened was the folks at St. Louis U and Washington U, they decided that this workhouse is terrible. And so they mounted up their forces and did some kind of bogus studies, and they were involved with the, I won't say the college was involved, but the colleges encouraged it. And then they sued, and they won all kind of money in lawsuits. The prisoners weren't treated well.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there was no air conditioning there. So I heard they spent a couple million to fix up the air, just to put air conditioning in. And then what happened was they just tore it down. So they just spent $3 million to tear down all the stuff that they just put in.
Yeah, no.
So, and that's the jail that actually works. The one downtown, that jail, the locks don't even work.
Well, and not only that, with the whole jail downtown, one of the things I keep hearing about is that it needs to be upgraded. We need to do this and that. It's just not comfortable for the prisoners. Well, here's the thing: if you don't want to be uncomfortable, don't get arrested. And I don't think. That to me seems like a bigger deterrent than if you're going to go to a jail that's really not a very hospitable place. Now, granted, you want the locks to work, but I mean, do you see where I'm going with this? I mean, why are they making such an issue? I mean, it's got to be humane, but it also shouldn't be like the Holiday Inn Express.
Well, you had all these liberal professors. They took that up as a point to. I guess they jumped in. They figured they were making it better for the prisoners themselves. It was I even went to some of their talks they gave, and I thought, well, this is ridiculous. They're just trying to shut this place down. And so now, what do you do with the prisoners?
Yeah, right. Well, that's crazy. I mean, what do you think of our new mayor, though? I mean, do you think any of that's going to make a difference?
I know Kara personally. I think she's. I know Tashara, and it's. A big time difference between the two. I thought Tashara was mean and bitter and hated the police. Kara, I don't believe Kara hates the police. I hope she supports the police. I don't know where she's going to go with that, though.
Why would somebody hate the police? I don't get that. Why would why?
So you're responding to your constituents, and the constituents in the city, the people who supported the police, I think they're pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of these young people moving into the city. They're not police supportive. Unfortunately, that's the voter in the city.
That bewilders me. I don't understand. I mean, that's just basic, the hierarchy of needs. You want security and protection and things like that. I mean, who wouldn't want to be protected? No, so we're just about out of time, but you got anything else to wrap us up with?
Well, I think what this does is I think this gives us hope that, hey, maybe they can fix it. But if the city still fights us and doesn't give the money, I mean that's how they destroyed us before, by defunding the police.
Yeah.
So that will be the fight, and that will probably go to court. I would imagine this is all going to go to court.
Yeah, well, the whole defund the police
continue.
thing, I mean, to me, that's just like, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and any logical, common sense person knows it's a joke. So, well, hopefully we will pull things through with the new state-run police board and the, also a new mayor. But we'll have to see. Will you join us again soon and let us know your updates?
You bet. We'll see how this works out. I mean, they can't do any worse.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can only go up, right?
That's right. When you hit rock bottom, maybe police will start showing up when you call 911.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. It's a crazy time, my friend, but hopefully we're on the upswing. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
you bet.
All right,
Enjoy
buddy.
chatting with you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Well, guess what, my friend? We got Karen Druley. We got to call pretty quick. But you know what's happening? I'm starting to lose my voice from this cold. Can
Oh,
you
my
tell?
goodness.
And that's going to make Karen Druley really, really excited.
She loves to talk.
She does not like to hear me say anything. So we're going to have to be really quick because I may be having to do my sign language, my miming here pretty quick. I'm still getting over that cold, even though you had the measles. You didn't give me the measles. You gave me a cold as a result of the measles.
Yeah, I saw my doctor, and he said, I think you may have measles. And I slipped him a 20, and I said, I don't think I have that because whenever somebody has the measles, it ends up on the news. The aquarium, they said there was a measles exposure. Someone sucked a fish or something, and it was all over the news. So I said, I don't want to be on the news, doctor.
No, and so you got a cold instead, and you gave it to me. Well,
I
thank
swapped
you very
it.
much. Well, we're going to talk to Karen Druley really quick, as long as I keep my voice, and maybe I won't. That'll leave me better radio, because then Joey and Karen can chat.
We'll talk about how we wash our little ducks in Dawn when there's an oil spill.
Oh, this is quite the story. She was on the news and everything. And on the line right now is the diva, the dame, the actress extraordinaire, my friend and everyone's friend, Karen Druley, who's not only acting, she's out there saving baby ducks. You're out there saving baby. Is this a big publicity stunt of your acting career? Yeah, I mean, because this is like something that, like Taylor would do or something like, oh, I think if I save some baby ducks, I'll get some press. Is that what this is all about?
No, it just happened to be we were at the right place at the right time.
All right, well, I'm going to set it up because you sent me a clip from Channel 4. You were on the news, so it had to be a big to-do. And I thought it was like a documentary that you were making as part of your film career. But no, you are on the news saving baby ducks with the entire Arnold Fire Department, who I hope didn't have to put out a fire. It didn't matter because you were saving baby ducks. I'm going to shut up because I'm losing my voice. What in the heck happened?
Okay, well, it happened on Tuesday night, May 13th. Me and Dave, what we call him, Landscaper Dave, we were leaving the local house in Arnold after having dinner, going home, and he's like, there was a duck laying right there by the stop sign, and he thought he was thinking maybe he had a baby with it. I was like, what? I'm like, why is it laying there by the stop sign? That's a little too close to the road there. So I was like, turn around, let's go around.
So wait, I seriously, I never cut anybody off. Well, actually, I do all the time. But you actually stopped the car with Landscaper Dave.
Well, we turned back around.
You turned around.
Drove around. The other's the way to go around to the circle. When people run Arnold will be familiar how you can go back around there and come back around again. It's kind of like driving in a circle.
Right.
So we drove back by, and he was wanting me to take a picture, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a picture. And then we kept driving around several times. And I was like, well, go park. So we parked over by the mattress place. I called dispatch at Arnold PD, and I was talking to them because I had already contacted Wildlife Command Center, and they couldn't make it out. So they said, go ahead and call the police. So I talked to the police. They weren't sure if they'd be able to send anybody out at the time, and they're asking questions. Do you see any other babies? No, I don't see any other babies. We're not sure what's going on. So I said, okay. I said, let me go figure something out. So I told David.
But what you did though, while you're trying to figure things out, you got the entire Arnold Fire Department and a Channel 4 news crew to show up. Now, most people would say, oh, I'm going to help the little duck cross the road. Not Dame Karen Druley. She says, I want a film crew out here with newscasters, the entire Arnold Fire Department. I mean, everybody was out there. I'm surprised the mayor wasn't there.
Not all that day the news wasn't there. So I told him, I said, something's not right. Because I know ducks have more than one baby. The mother's instinct is like, something's not right with us. And he's like, well, don't scare the duck. If you go over there, maybe the other babies, maybe something happened to them. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going over there for me, for my gut feeling. Something doesn't feel right. So I walked over there. And I'm making sure she walked away with the other baby. And I'm listening around, and I'm like, I'm hearing sounds and so many birds chirping, but I'm like, something different. And there's a pipe there on the ground, and I peek in, and I'm like, oh my God, I think there's something in there moving around.
Yes.
And I looked a little closer. There was. So I called the Arnold PD back, and I was like, hey, can you guys get an officer out here, see what they can suggest? But I think we've got some ducks stuck down on the pipe.
So they're stuck. They're stuck in this hellhole. And you have the fire department come out along with Channel 4 News, everything.
Well, that's Channel 4 the next day.
Next day. Okay, so you drag this out into a whole shoot, which is great. And so, but the moral of the story, I guess to wrap up the story, because we're just about out of time, you saved the baby ducks. You had a documentary on Channel 4, and you used probably about 18,000 tax dollars to have the entire fire department out. So, I mean, is that pretty much it?
No.
Oh, there's more.
Them out. As it turned out, there was 10 baby ducks in the hole altogether. We thought there were 6, and they started pulling them out, and there's 10. They had a blast. This was one of the funnest calls that they've ever been on.
Sure. Yeah.
They were taking pictures. They had a great time with it.
Well, I tell you what, we're out of time. Okay, but I tell you what, I mean, you saving the baby ducks. I mean, I'm surprised they just didn't stick the fire hose down the hole. But you stopped that, and then I'm losing my voice as we speak, so I got to go real quick. You saved the baby ducks, and that's all I.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you're a duck
right
saver.
Place at the right time. Yeah, we were right place at the right time for sure.
Well, you did a noble job. Noble job. Well, thanks for joining us, Dame Karen.
Thank you.
All
See
right.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, I tell you what, that was Dame Karen. I mean, I'm glad that she talked because I'm losing my voice, but that's okay because it's at the end of the show.
Yeah, the ducks were stuck down there day 1, and then they had to recreate it for the camera crew.
Well,
so she threw them back down there for day 2.
It's a whole production. I think Craft Services was there and the whole thing. And so, yeah, it was a big deal.
I saw the video on Channel 4, and these firemen have some amazing horseshoe mustaches.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm jealous that they can grow the facial hair. Maybe landscaper Dave will take a tip, and he'll become even more handsome and rugged.
Yeah, he may. I don't know. I'm not crying. I'm just losing my voice. Does that make you happy? A lot of people are happy when I lose my voice.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I watched a movie recently. It's called Friendship. Comes out next week, and it's about guys who have trouble making friends.
Yeah.
And whenever I think about that, it makes me sad because we were fast friends immediately when we met.
Yeah.
We hug, and I think
we spoon.
We hang out outside of work, and I think the next step is just me coming over to your living room and sitting in silence while you flip through Netflix with the wife.
Come on over. I'll make some.
We don't need to talk at all. Just be comfortable in each other's silence, and I think that's the next stage. And we're gonna set up a date.
I think you should. I think anytime you want. Let's just get the heck out of here and do it now.
Let's do it now.
Hey, okay, Andy. That's what I'm starting to talk like Barney 5.
I keep a bullet in my pocket.
Oh, wow. Andy. And we're going to do the whole thing. Hey, did you have a good time today?
Wonderful time.
I had a good time, too. You know what I always say, don't you? Mm-hmm. And I usually say it a little deeper. If you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. Till next time, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. Till next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to toddsprod.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at newstalkstl.com.